Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Yes, I'm back in time for the draft. The Orioles to win some more baseball games. Big weekend. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour several times this week. We're going to be at Captain Larry's on Thursday downtown. Been waiting to get down there and see Mara for a long time and have their crab cake. Then on Friday, we are at Fadley's in Lexington Market, the old Fadley's. And then next week, we're moving to Middle River. We're going to be at the new McFalls. I know the McFalls up near my radio station in Loch Raven. This is the one on the water down in Middle River. Really looking forward to that on Thursday. I'll be giving away these. These are instant lottery scratch-offs. Roz is giving me fresh batches of these to give away, and we'll be doing that all month long. Lots of other things, including just the incredible 50th anniversary that you see logos like this and like these. You're like, oh, yeah, it's been 50 years for the Maryland Lottery. John Martin joins us now. We've had a little respite from my time away out in the Pacific, still in the United States of America. I didn't have to pull my passport out. But I am glad to be back. We got football, we got baseball, we got sports happening. But more than that, the 50th anniversary's rocking right now as we go into May. Right, John?
We are having more fun than anyone should be allowed to have, mister.
Well, you're giving money away. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
wish I were the guy giving. Well, you know what? When I give these away and people win $20 like somebody did last week, people like go crazy when they win. So if you win 20 million, it's a lot more.
Oh, they do. And I'm going to apologize right off the bat. I know this is bad radio, but I'm going to apologize right off the bat. Those of you that are watching us through video channels, I have a new surrounding here. They've come in. I was on vacation for a week, repainted the office, moving furniture in and out.
It looks nice. It looks nice.
Yeah, same old me though. But so bear with me as we're in a under construction in process mode here. But we got that going on. But what isn't in process, what is going very strong, is all of the links to our 50th anniversary game. Go to mdlottery.com to see all the products, promotions. We are having lots of fun, and more importantly, players are winning money. They're entering second chance contests. And lots of fun and excitement coming up in the months ahead.
Not only do we get the Wishbone logo, but there's money associated with this. And these are the more inexpensive tickets, sort of an old school throwback. But you've done a whole different thing with this 50th anniversary in regard to lines and stuff. Like you told me in January, February, something was going to be rolling out every couple of weeks for the 50th anniversary, including baseball and home run riches. You've made that pot bigger. We've made the scratch-offs. The jackpots are bigger than they've ever been. But you put a lot of effort into this, and I think I want to hear, what do we have going on into May? Because you gave me these in April.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on in May, but let's give a little shout out before we lose the month of April here. We had a number of second chance drawings, and people are winning cash prizes. We have St. Clair Forbes, lucky winner in Hanover, Maryland, won $50,000 in the month of April on a second chance contest with our gold multiplier product. That instant ticket lottery, the one you showed, the throwback ticket, the second chance drawing on that. We had Deanna Hamoud of Trapp, Maryland, won $10,000 on a second chance contest in the month of April. And the big event coming up through the year that we've been teasing, our 50th anniversary cash bash with our payoff, where one lucky winner can win potentially $5 million at the state fair this year. And we every month now will select 2 finalists for that event. And the 2 lucky people who are now counting down the days of the state fair from the month of April are Anita Karki of Montgomery Village, Maryland, and Jacqueline Kluga of Arnold, Maryland. Now they will join 2 other semifinalists. We have 4 now. We will have 10 people that will be at Timonium Fairgrounds in September to sit and hopefully participate in a live event where one of them could potentially win $5 million. It
reminds me like sort of the Showcase Showdown on Price is Right. Like you got to wait to the end. You have to wait to the end. But more than that, if your name's in the hopper and you might be coming into $5 million, that makes for a long summer. You guys, you're into all this suspense, John, with these winners, what you're doing.
Well, I tell you what, talking about suspense, let's cut right to the chase, because you alluded to it before with the home run riches. Let me bring it up here. So the way the game is played, and many of your listeners know this, who've done this promotion with the Orioles for years. Every baseball season, we go through our entrance, our second chance winning entrance. We select a contestant of the game. He or she wins $500 for just being selected. And then during that game, they get an additional $500 for every Orioles home run hit during that game. And as you
And we hit a
know,
lot of home runs. We do.
they've
Even though
been
they moved the fence back. I mean, we still hit a lot of home runs.
yeah, absolutely. Let me just cut to where we are now, because we're on countdown mode now. When the 50th Orioles home run is hit this year, that lucky contestant of the game will win $50,000.
And that's probably going to happen in May now. I mean, all the offseason, you were thinking it was going to happen in June. They hit more home runs than we thought they were going to hit.
Well,
they're winning more than a lot of people from Cleveland thought they were going to win, for sure.
Well, I tell you what, in all fairness, they've been playing the JV schedule so far. So in May, you play who's on the schedule. And in May, the schedule gets a little tougher. The pitching matchups might get a little tougher, but let's be optimistic. So we've already selected the contestant of the games through the month of May. So surprisingly enough, the last series, let's go to the end of the month. The last series in May against
Cleveland Guardians.
Oh,
is that why you're wearing purple today?
Yeah, well, there's a number of reasons. But here's this, and wait for it. It's going to be worth the haul here. So on the 29th against the Guardians, Wendy Selznick from Bel Air is already the contestant of the game. She's already won $500, and now she's tick-tock watching the clock. And if we get to 48-49, Wendy's going to be a little excited on the 29th. But if that passes, on the 30th, Suzanne Winchester, also of Bel Air.
A lot going on in Harford County.
Is the contestant game for the 30th.
I think it's that lottery sign in front of Jones Junction is what I think. The giant one that changes when you pull up there.
But here's the payoff, and insert your own joke here, because I don't have one. I knew this was coming. On the 31st of May against the Cleveland Guardians, if we are still at that magical number, just waiting, the contestant of the game, I'm kid you not, Daniel Boone.
All right.
Of Baltimore, Maryland.
They're going to have a lot. Ben McDonald's going to have a lot of fun talking about this.
Oh,
in the broadcast,
baby. This has been, you couldn't have scripted this any better.
So give everybody the lowdown. John Martin is here from the Maryland Lottery. He joins us weekly, of course, on behalf of the Maryland Lottery. So when that game happens, by the way, the 31st is my wife's birthday too. So this home run's going to happen at some point in late May, early June. We know that based on their pace, that if you get to this night momentous and these nice ladies from Bel Air are watching and the inning comes and like all that, what's going to happen that's going to trigger them winning maybe $5 million, right? 5 million, is that the number?
No, this is 50,000.
50,000, my bad. I'm confusing the fives. It's Brooks Robinson and Joe Flacco. I'm sorry. Yeah, 50,000. So they're online for $50,000, and that's definitely going to be given away, right?
As soon as that 50th home run has been sanctioned and clears the fence, the wall, hits the foul pole, whatever it is that triggers that 50th legit home run of the season, that lucky contestant of the game wins automatically $50,000.
I hope it's not under review. I hope it's not hitting a pesky pole or something, anything like crazy like that. We want it to be cut and dried. Cut and dried is that we have draft this weekend. Baseball's going on. I know we've had some sports wagering and maybe not news right now, but as you've talked about, the monthly start coming in, and we have months like May where there's no Super Bowl. There's no March Madness. It's a little different, but it is available and on mobile. And this time last year, you were trying to work to make it available so people could have it, so that people could, I guess they could bet on whether or not Lamar will still be a Raven by the end of the weekend, right? There's all sorts of things in the sports space from an exotic wagering perspective, but people are getting used to this now. And I think even in baseball season, and we see it every night, there's possibilities for people to play.
Yeah, and certainly as we preached, please play responsibly, understand the games you're playing, understand the odds, understand all the things that are a part of that. Get some resources to help you understand the best use of your investment and entertainment for that game. Enjoy the game. Certainly we have the NBA playoffs, the hockey playoffs. I mean, you're now getting in that part of the season where, there's some very, very interesting things to wager on and to enjoy. And whether you enjoy them in the friendly confines of one of our retail partners and you're in their location, whether it be a casino or an OTB location or or whomever that happens to be our sports book partner, that's a great opportunity. Or if you want to enjoy it from the comfort of your own home, kick back and use your mobile device to make a wager. I mean, certainly a lot more options available this year than last year. May and through the summer months will be a little slower pace. March, we celebrated our $5 million transfer to the state fund. It's going to be a number of months before we see numbers that large again. But we hope again people are playing responsibly. They're educating themselves, and they're playing through reputable organizations like our sports.
I hadn't even thought about that. Like all my years with the caps and playoffs and stuff like that, that's an interesting proposition. You're going to spend 3 hours, sometimes 6 hours if they're playing triple overtime in these games. But this is a great time of the year where games are on every night. If you love the NBA playoffs, I was in Hawaii the last week, John, and I actually was in Las Vegas where I transferred. But watching sports be played at a different hour, in the middle of the afternoon, it really sort of sports is everywhere. And in Hawaii, they put surfing on. It's regular sports. There's like NBA, the Lakers, but there's surfing on every channel. So I don't think you can wager on that. John Martin is here. They're celebrating 50 years of the Maryland Lottery. Even brought back my favorite old school logo. You guys are gonna be doing a lot of events, right? Because I mean, all sorts of things. As I look at the calendar, my wife and I were talking about this because it's the first time in a long, long time, maybe since the plague, I don't have a trip booked anywhere. I'm not flying anywhere. I have nothing on my calendar. I'm thinking there's a lot going on here that because of the plague and because, I mean, everything from artscapes downtown to spring festivals to wine festival, lots of things that in 21 didn't happen. In 22 was questionable whether they could happen. We're back to sort of normal times. And I know you guys are out spinning wheels, giving things away, doing all the things we saw you do at Costas a couple weeks ago.
We love doing that. We love engaging and interacting with our players. And I encourage everybody to go to mdlottery.com to check out where we may be. So stop by. Players 18 years of age and older allowed to spin and win a lovely prize at one of these venues. Coming up in the month of May, just some teasers because we will be out. May really kicks off now a very aggressive spring and summer agenda for us. The Annapolis Irish Festival. My wife is part Irish, and we enjoy those types of things. So food, music. A lot of good times. Come visit us at the Irish.
See, I haven't heard of that.
Festival.
So that I didn't know there was an Annapolis Irish Festival. So this is new to me.
The Crownsville Fairgrounds there is very nice. We'll also be, and that's May 6th where we'll be there. The very next day is the Frederick Running Festival. I am not a runner. Look at me. Do I look like I'm a runner? No.
I did no running last week at all. I ran to the bar to get Mai Tais. That's all the running I did, John.
I tell you where I am going to run is the following week, and the Quad State Pickle Fest in Boonesboro. Now, this looks like a hoot and a half. Everything pickle, pickle ice cream, pickle pizza, pickle burgers, pickles, and more pickles.
I like pickles in a sandwich. I mean, a little bread and butter pickle, a little dill pickle. I like it all.
We are way past, dude. We are way past pickles on the sandwich here. This is
fried pickles.
How many?
Okay, all right. I mean, yeah. I mean, but this is what I'm talking about. Summertime, you're allowed to eat fried Oreos and fried bread. We don't talk about that in January, February. That's a spring thing, and it's all coming. Maryland Lottery, John Martin. When you give me these to give away, I was up at Pappas in Bel Air. Same as all the Oriole contestants. I was up there a couple weeks ago. People go nuts when they win, right? And it really, I didn't know this about the relationship. I think I've told you this a bunch of times. I didn't know how much fun it was going to be giving these away, how people were going to be really into it and playing and yelling at me and holding their ticket up when they win like they won bingo. They yell, "Hey, I won." I'm like, I need to get a picture with you. So I've been taking pictures with winners. It is a fun time of the year, and I think it's fun being around the lottery this time of year, especially when you have 50th anniversary. You're giving stuff away every day, and we had a huge jackpot a couple weeks ago too. My wife got in on.
Yeah, there are lots of fun prizes up and down the scratch off line, the pick 3, pick 4, pick 5. Hey, did you hear about the story about the gentleman in Waldorf who has now won 3 times on the same number?
What?
Pick 5. And pick 5 has only been out there a little over a year. So in an 11th month period from May of last year through April of this year, the gentleman has won 3 times
with the same number
on the same 5-digit number.
Same
Now,
5-digit number?
yeah,
Wow, that's
and
incredible.
that is, although, truth be told here, the first time, 2 times he won, he doubled up. He bought the same number twice the same time. So the
Okay.
number hasn't come up 3 times, it's come up twice, but he was lucky enough to have 2 tickets the first time, played it again, and has been playing it ever since, and now has been rewarded with three $50,000 prizes.
Listen,
So
I
that's a
wasn't
good
good at
story.
algebra. I mean, let's be honest. I was watching sports, so, but there 99,999 possible. I've done the math on this. There's five
Well,
digits,
actually, a
right?
100,000, because 5 zeros is a
Zeros.
possibility.
Fair
So
enough.
it's
See,
a hundred
that's
thousand.
why I wasn't good at math. That's why I need math teacher, Mr. Martin, to teach me math with a little pocket square and the pencils in there, doing the whole thing. For the number to come up twice, for him to stay with the number is also like an
Well, yeah,
incredible thing,
right,
right?
right. But those, again, lottery players are creatures of habit. Spoiler alert: lottery players are creatures of habit, and they
If you
enjoy.
gave me a 3-digit right now and said, Ness, I'm going to give you a free 3-digit play, I'd say box 936 because that's my number, right? You know that. And that's the number I won the Springsteen thing on back in the day. I can still tell you 35 years later, I saw the Springsteen Tunnel of Love tour because I won $80 on a scratch off at East Point Liquors in 1989. So have at it.
Yeah, that there you go. And there are stories. There are many stories like that, and better, if you can imagine better stories, by going mdlottery.com. Check out our winner stories. You'll find lots of engaging stories about our pick 5 winner, as I just said, about a proud grandma who won $100,000 on her scratch off ticket, about the lucky Laurel lady who won $57,777. Yes, that's the exact prize
Oh, how
tally.
much? 50?
57,777 on our fast play Lucky Sevens game. We kind of played into that sevens theme there. But she's very happy with that. And an Annapolis caterer who won $50,000 on one of our scratch off games. Great stories, great human interest stories to see how these people are, how they react when they when they have to scratch the ticket twice and scan it 3 times just to make sure that they're seeing those numbers and all those zeros.
I have a friend that won Lotto the first couple years of Lotto, won $1 million. A friend of mine from Dundalk that I went to school with, his family won. They were in the paper. It was all that. I haven't had anybody recently tell me they won 50 grand, but I have people all the time win when they come out to the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. I'm giving away the instant lottery scratch offs. We're going to be at Captain Larry's Thursday. We're going to be at Fadley's, the old Fadley's in the old market, and the place it's been for like 150 years. For a little while longer. That's on Friday morning. Bill Henry's going to be joining us, controller, as well as Ron Legler from the Hippodrome coming down talking about Hadestown and all the big shows coming downtown. Bill Weedell from CFG Bank has promised me out a couple weeks from now because we're going to talk about the CFG Bank Arena. And then next week, I'm in Middle River at McFalls. Looking forward to a new crab cake, new places, new tastes. The weather's changing. The Orioles are playing. John Martin's wearing purple to honor the Ravens on draft weekend, right? I think anyway, right? Maybe?
Yes, exactly. That and it came up in the rotation. I'm very much a rotation guy. But
I'm
yeah,
wearing Oiler
absolutely.
blue today. Right, exactly. I mean, it just happens. We will be here again next week, and we'll be giving away Maryland Lottery scratch-off tickets everywhere the Maryland Crab Cake Tour goes. Big appreciation to our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Keep giving money away out there. We'll get closer. I'm sorry I messed up the $5 million and the $50,000, but it's going to feel like $5 million when this person wins $50,000. I guarantee you it's going to feel pretty good when you win a lot of money because the Orioles hit a home run.
Hey, here's something else you can file away for future reference. We just this week announced a new $5 Corvette ticket with the second chance prize at the end of the year, October, a drawing. One lucky person could win $150,000 that we hope will send them immediately to their Corvette dealer for a brand new ride. But we got plenty of time to talk about that over the next several months.
Well, we will talk about that because my wife's favorite all-time car is a 67 Corvette. And every time one of these car shows comes on, there's an auction. They're auctioning this and that, and this car's 300 grand, and that car's 80 grand. Well, I've always said to my wife, if I ever hit it big, if I got wealthy, I'd find some way to get her a 67 Corvette in a color that she likes, so she could have some fun with her life after all she's been through. And I'm thinking to myself, so she could win 150 grand. Could I buy a 67 Corvette with 100? I was wondering. I don't know, but that's my homework for this week, as well as figuring out that 5 digits is actually 10,000 or 100,000 possibilities, not
Well,
99,999.
and I'd be remiss if I did not thank you personally now on these airways on behalf of all the other husbands out there for setting the bar so ridiculously high by buying your wife a 67 Corvette when I struggled to buy my wife a box of chocolates
If
on Valentine's Day.
no,
Thank you
but
very much.
if I were wealthy, that would be the one item that would be a fun item for her. And I thought when she said that to me, I'm like, well, how much can one of those be? Like 30, 40, 50, 60 grand, like a car? They're not like, no, antiques aren't like that. It's like my belt buckles. It's not normal.
But by the time you turn the microphone off, you're going to have 5 of your listeners tell you how much a 67 Corvette costs.
How
Check your
much
social media.
does a 1960? I'm going to ask cost. Let's see.
Your social media network is
Okay,
going to tell you.
in excess. This is very affordable if you went
Round
under 50
numbers.
grand. $75,000 in that range is how
Right,
much
you get
that
2 of them.
vehicle
You get
costs.
2 then.
No, I'm taking the other. No. She gets a car and I get.
Well, weekends and weekdays. Come on. So now you're going to short arm it. I mean, you're boasting about how you're going to get your wife a new car, and now all of a sudden you're getting alligator arms at the end of this.
Listen, Leonard Raskin tells the story as often as he can that he went to Super Bowl 35 without his wife 23 years ago and spent an inordinate amount of money on tickets and fun, and he had to come back. He said he had to furnish the whole house when he got back. John Martin is here. He is furnishing us with scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery, the throwback to the lottery's first ever scratch-off. I have them. I'll be giving them away at McFall's next week, as well as Captain Larry's and Fadley's this week. And I'll be seeing you next week. And I promise you, these bags under my eyes, and I'm going to call a suntan, I'm going to be well rested for you next week. And I might be the one wearing purple based on maybe Lamar Jackson will be wearing purple by this time next week. John Martin is here. Make sure you're wagering responsibly as you do your wagering here. And if you're betting on baseball and basketball and hockey each and every night, just think about things, know what you're getting yourself into. We always tell people that because, there are risks involved here. And we want everybody to stay safe and have a good time with the way they play the lottery and with the way they enjoy sports. And I was a guy out in Las Vegas late into the evening last night. John, we'll see you next week. John Martin from the Maryland Lottery joining us here. Don't forget, they have the throwbacks, too. I don't have any of these. I have these, but that's okay. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Odell Beckham Jr. and the Maryland Lottery. Stay with us.